Are you in the market for a small SUV? Me too. And this one here is high on my shopping list, the Kia Seltos. The Seltos is one of a number of compact SUVs that are well priced with up-to-date safety and tech, plus it gets Kia's impressive 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. At least, that's what it says on the brochure. Let's find out if it can deliver, shall we? I buy my cars for 3 key reasons: safety, standard equipment, and price. A nice, solid behind-the-wheel feel, good looks and a spacious cabin are all icing on the cake, and I've got to say, no seat heaters and no Apple CarPlay can be deal breakers. I don't like really big cars. I've previously owned wagons and hatchbacks, but I appreciate a bit of ride height and enough room in the boot in case my husband and I decide to get that golden retriever we've always wanted. On that basis, the Seltos looks about the right size. Plus, if you squint, I happen to think it looks a little bit like a Volvo XC40, which I reckon is one of the best looking cars on the road at the moment. Before we get going, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time a new video goes live. I'm reviewing the most expensive Seltos, the GT-Line. It's all-wheel drive and has a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine producing 130 kilowatts of power and 265 Newton meters of torque. The transmission is a 7-speed dual-clutch setup. By comparison, the lower-spec Seltos variants tend to be front-wheel drive with a continuously variable transmission and smaller engine outputs. The GT-Line is priced from $41,400 plus on-road costs. Kia offers a national drive-away deal of $42,990, but that's with the no-cost paint option of Star Bright Yellow. The sleek black shade that I'd choose, or this blue option, at an extra $520 each. If you opt for this top-of-the-range GT line, the main additions you'll receive on top of the Sport Plus grade include LED headlights, the other grades get halogen lights, a sunroof, a few more active safety features, heated and cooled faux leather seats, a heated steering wheel, rain-sensing wipers, a wireless phone charger, a head-up display, and a Bose sound system. You might also be looking at the slightly bigger Kia Sportage, which is a little bit more expensive for a top-spec all-wheel drive variant. However, if you ask me, given it's only a few centimetres larger and a little chunkier and less attractive, the Seltos is the pick of the pair. You might also be shopping the Mazda CX-30, the Subaru XV, or the Hyundai Kona. They're all similarly priced too. I love a swanky front seat feel, and the Seltos GT-Line more than delivers. Plus, it has my must-haves in heated and cooled seats and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In fact, it's the only Seltos grade to get heated seats, and in a Melbourne climate, that's pretty much a non-negotiable. This heated steering wheel is a lovely bonus. The 10.25-inch touchscreen is in every spec grade bar the base, and the display looks fantastic and is super easy to use. I love that you can customize your driver profile to remember your specific settings. The colour head-up display is handy and stows neatly away in the dash, plus it has a digital speedometer. Even though Kia says this leather is artificial, it's really soft and nice and doesn't feel at all tacky. However, some of the harder plastic used on the dashboard can show scratches a little bit easily. Otherwise, there are very few things missing in here. Specifically, there is no dual zone climate control, which is fine for me because everyone knows the driver controls the temperature. There's no idle stop to save on fuel, there's no self-park function, and there's no 360-degree view monitor. All things I'm pretty happy to go without. For me, back seats are for kids I don't have yet, friends I very occasionally carpool with, and for folding down so that I can get a little bit more room in the boot. The Seltos ticks all of those boxes. It's basic but comfortable back here. I've got plenty of leg and knee room, as you can see, plenty of headroom. There's a USB port here in case I need it, air vents and ISOFIX ports for child seats. Oh, and cup holders. There's also a flip down armrest for some cup holders in there for your morning coffee. As an added bonus, you can also recline these rear seats for added comfort. Plus, the seats fold 60/40 to boost the boot space. Speaking of boot space, the 433 litres on offer back here more than pass the Golden Retriever test. In fact, it's actually one of the bigger boots on offer in the small SUV space, and the Sportage only adds about an extra 33 litres of room. For your reference, that's around the same size as your average milk crate. There's no power tailgate, which would have been nice, but there is a full-size spare alloy wheel, which is something of a rarity. Lots of other cars offer only temporary options. In the Seltos, however, you'll get one in every grade bar the base spec S, which gets a temporary wheel. Safety is obviously really important, and the Seltos really excels here. It's got a 2019 5-star NCAP rating, and even the lower grades are really well served when it comes to active safety features. No matter which Seltos you buy, you'll get essentials like autonomous emergency braking with forward collision warning and pedestrian detection, lane keep assist, a rear view camera and reverse sensors. The GT-Line adds front and rear sensors, blind spot monitoring, a rear cross traffic alert, lane following assist and cyclist detection for the autonomous emergency braking. All Seltos grades get cruise control, but in the GT-Line it's smart cruise control, meaning it accelerates and brakes for you. There's also a steering assistant which keeps you centered in your lane, although I found this one tugs a little bit left for my liking but works well otherwise. You'll also get live speed limit updates on the heads-up display, although they don't do a great job of updating, so best to rely on your own eyes for that one. Alright, I reckon it's time to actually do some driving. Okay, so the first thing I notice here is the dual clutch transmission. I'm not typically a fan of this setup just because I find it a little bit unpolished at lower speeds. And what I mean by that is that there's a slight lag when you hit the accelerator occasionally, and as well it can feel a little bit jerky if you're parking and maneuvering. It's not unbearable, it's just something to keep in mind for everyday driving and is perhaps a little less smooth than something like a continuously variable transmission. Otherwise, visibility in the cabin is great, ride height is perfect, not too high, not too low, and everything I need can be easily accessed by the steering wheel controls, plus I really appreciate the digital speedometer on the heads-up display. The trade-off is that there's a bit of a sporty feel to the GT-Line and acceleration feels punchy and quick, particularly as you're getting up to higher speeds. The steering feel is sporty too. It's not so light you feel like you're driving a Dodgem car, but it's also easy enough to handle in smaller city streets. I feel like I'm driving a proper SUV. There's visibility, there's power, and the all-wheel drive system provides grip, traction, and confidence. It's also important to note that the Seltos is a little bit more of a rough ride than I possibly was expecting, and I think that might be because the GT-Line rides on bigger wheels with lower profile tyres than some of the other Seltos grades. It's by no means super uncomfortable or unbearable, it's just maybe a little less cushioned than it could be. Kia promises combined fuel consumption of 7.6 litres per 100 kilometres in the GT-Line, and that's pretty bang on. I recorded 7.8 litres per 100 kilometres for my real-world figure. For an SUV, I'm pretty impressed by that. A couple of last important notes. The turning circle on this is great. I think it's around 10.6 meters and it feels nice and tight. And as well, the sound system, which is a Bose sound system with 8 speakers, is pretty epic. So would I buy a Seltos for myself? Well, I love the level of standard equipment and safety features on offer. It's a perfectly sized car for my city lifestyle, and the real-world fuel economy is great. My main hesitation with the GT-Line is price. It's just a little bit outside of my ideal budget. And I don't really love the feel of the dual clutch transmission, and with my lifestyle, don't really need all-wheel drive. As such, I'm thinking that before I commit, I'll also take a look at the lower S and Sport grades, both fitted with the optional safety pack. Those are both front-wheel drive with a continuously variable transmission, and they're a little bit cheaper. And on the plus side, they still get active cruise control and autonomous emergency braking with cyclist detection. I guess I'll just have to learn to live without heated leather seats. Thanks so much for watching. For the full written review, head to CarAdvice.com.au. And if you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video goes live. And as always, make sure you hit us up in the comments section below.